Hello and welcome to another episode of Quick Tips from Global News Alliance Academy. I'm Sam Ebersol, Director of Training, and today I want to explore some of the vocabulary that is commonly used in the news or journalism profession. In the next few minutes, we'll define personnel, their roles and responsibilities, and key terms that every beginning video journalist should know. And we'll use practical examples to demonstrate how you can become a working journalist and a storyteller of what God is doing in your part of the world. So let's begin with the various roles and positions that you'll find in a typical newsroom. Now, understand that if you're a smartphone reporter working as a correspondent or stringer, you may be filling most, if not all of these roles yourself. It's what we sometimes refer to as a one-man band. But if you have an opportunity to work for a larger news organization, you may encounter some or all of these positions in the production of a news story or news program. First up, the assignment editor. This is the person who assigns stories and coordinates coverage. If there are multiple reporters working in your office, the assignment editor decides which reporter is assigned to which story. Assignment editors are often the point of contact for members of the public who call in to request news coverage for an event or a topic of interest to them. For Global News Alliance, we often hear of story opportunities, and then we pass that information along to an available reporter. Next up is the reporter. This person gathers facts, conducts interviews, and files the story. For large news operations, they may refer to a reporter as a correspondent. This is often the case if the reporter works from a specific location or covers a particular beat. Now, a beat, by the way, is a specific area of coverage. For example, politics, business, health, sports, etc. Beats help newsrooms organize coverage, and for reporters, they allow for specialization that leads to more expertise and greater understanding. The person who shoots the video is called the videographer, or sometimes just photog. In many cases, the person also serves as the video editor. The editor is the person who operates the editing software used to place the shots in order to create the finished package. When working in a newsroom with a small or a large staff, knowing who does what helps you ask for the right support while also helping you understand the workflow. Now, another term that you may hear around a newsroom is something called the pitch. A pitch is a short description of a possible story presented to an assignment editor with the goal of getting a green light or approval to proceed with the next step. A good pitch is clear, short, and shows why the audience should care. It typically contains a headline, one line explaining why it matters, and then a list of visuals that you can get and sources who you'll interview. Now, once your pitch is approved, you'll move to the next steps. Additional research, scheduling interviews, etc. If you have a strong idea for a story for Global News Alliance, please send us a pitch. We'd love to hear from you. Now, you may be familiar with the term research, but in the context of journalism, it may have a slightly different meaning. The most important research for a journalist is primary research. That is, gathering information from primary sources, for example, participants, eyewitnesses, and officials. Research prepares you to ask intelligent questions and to capture useful visuals. Research includes reading background articles, reviewing public records, scanning social media, and doing pre-interviews with potential interviewees. The more you know before you arrive on scene, the better the interview and the more useful the B-roll that you'll shoot. A good journalist knows how to cultivate sources. Sources are people who provide information. Networking in person, on social media, or at public meetings builds a pool of contacts that you may need in the future. Remember, trust is the currency, and while it takes time to build trust, it can deliver long-term results. Be reliable, fair, and transparent, and sources will reward you with accurate and timely information. And speaking of accuracy, don't overlook fact-checking and verification. Fact-checking and verification is important for you to do before you go to publication. Use at least 2 independent sources to confirm major facts. And if you can't verify a claim, label it as unconfirmed, or better yet, leave it out. Mistakes cost credibility, and issuing a correction does not always undo the harm that was done. You may hear people talking about writing for the ear. Television or video are heard as much as seen. Write short sentences, speak conversationally, use the active voice and present tense when possible. Lead with the strongest fact and avoid long phrases. Now, another term that you'll hear that relates to this profession is something called visual storytelling. Remember that video is first and foremost a visual medium. Visual storytelling means choosing images that replace or deepen what the words say. Here are some examples of the shots that you can use to tell your story visually. Think in sequences: an establishing shot, action, reaction, detail, or use this memory aid to help you remember: WMD. Wide shot, medium shot, and detail shots will make editing flow much more easily. Now, perhaps you've seen a news story in which the reporter appears on screen or on camera. A stand-up is a short, two-camera delivery by the reporter, usually to introduce or close a story. It should be concise, location-based, and add information, not repeat the package. Here are a few delivery tips that you should consider when planning to do a stand-up. In conclusion, knowing the various roles and responsibilities of those who produce news and understanding the language and terminology of the profession will help you develop and grow as a new smartphone journalist. This has been another Global News Alliance Academy Quick Tips episode. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep telling stories about what God is doing in your church, your city, your country, and your continent. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, visit gna.news for more information about becoming a smartphone reporter and citizen journalist. Check out our online curriculum leading to certification as a smartphone reporter. And until next time, may God bless you.